What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with RK Outpost, and I just got done watching Chapter 5, Episode 5 of The Mandalorian. This one's called The Gunslinger. I'm not quite sure why it's called The Gunslinger, but that's the title of it. I'll be honest, this week it felt like I was saying on Twitter just before, I'm sitting up waiting for this to drop. It feels like a burden to watch it this week. I feel like all the other weeks I've been fairly excited for it to come out. This one felt like a burden. I don't know if it's because I disliked episode 4 so much. After episode 3, although I wasn't like, oh, 10 out of 10 like a lot of other people. I really enjoyed that one, so I was looking forward to maybe them progressing the plot a little bit. And then episode 4 fell so flat for me. So maybe that's it. I've got my energy drink here. I fell asleep 3 times during this, and I had to wake up and rewind it. I am tired. That's part of it. I am tired, and I was, sitting down on the couch, but it also just didn't keep me very engaged. Now, a couple things before I get into this will be spoilers. Before I get into the breakdown of the plot, like beginning to end, like I usually do, there's a couple things. So, 28. I do have some notes. 28 minutes of runtime. Which is right around the shortest one we've had so far, I think. I think it's 32 or 33 fully, including the... I heard... I'm not going to repeat that. I heard someone describe the art at the end as incredible, and it is incredible. And then the recap in the beginning. But 28 minutes of actual episode. This is directed by Dave Filoni, the second episode that he's done. Now, when I was watching this show, I didn't realize who did it to begin. I'd forgot the order. And when I heard that it was Dave Filoni, I was like, that makes sense. Because I was thinking that as I was watching the show. I was like, God, this kind of seems like an episode of Clone Wars. This has got to be Dave Filoni. And sure enough, it was Dave Filoni. So, those are the two things I really wanted to say. And overall, that I was just kind of underwhelmed with it. Again, it seems like another filler. But let's go. Let's start in the front. This opens up really cool. I was like, oh, well, it really caught my eye after the recap. This opens up. He's in space in a battle. Like, immediately, he's getting shot at by another ship. You get told that it's a bounty hunter who's trying to track him down using the fobs, assumingly. Because we get that again in the beginning. We hear them talk about the fobs again in the recap. And bounty hunter's ship is just getting lit up. Now, yeah, maybe $100 million wasn't enough to do this show. It did not look like very good CGI. It looked really shaky. Not shaky, but just it didn't look very good. It didn't look like a movie. It definitely looked like a TV show. It looked like some of what you see on Legends of Tomorrow. Maybe not quite that bad as Legends of Tomorrow on CW, but around there. Didn't look great. So the Mandalorian, pulls a cool maneuver to trick him. He knocks off the hull, puts him right in his lines. He gives a little one-liner, and he shoots him. And, but his ship's really damaged, so he has to land on a near planet. And he comms the radio tower, and they say, oh, Mos Eisley radio tower, or something like that. And you're like, oh, we're on Tatooine. Okay, going to Tatooine. Never been there before. So go to Tatooine, he lands, he goes to a hangar that's a garage, and it's immediately familiar pit droids that, like in episode 1, are just bopping each other around, making noises, being funny. So they greet him, and he almost shoots them, because, again, it's established that he does not like droids, right? He wants you to know he does not like droids. He says it a couple times. So, he doesn't like droids. The person who comes out to say, hey, what's going on is, I heard it referred to last episode when that waitress at the bar or the little restaurant, wasn't really a cantina, but the restaurant that Mandalorian went to, I heard someone say it best, they're like, whose aunt is this that they let on stage because her dialogue was bad and weird? This person's the same way, and I thought, oh, well, she's just going to have a little role. She was in a lot. She had maybe more dialogue than anyone else in the show. I don't know who the actress was. Her name was, let's see, her name was Pelly, according to the according to the subtitles. Peli was in charge. She's the repair woman at this hangar with the pit droids, and she is just off-putting. Her dialogue, the way that she speaks, her acting, I don't know. But she's looking it over, basically says, it's going to cost some money. He only has 500 Imperial credits. He has to find a way to pay her off. So he goes looking for a job. As he's looking for a job. He goes into a cantina, which is very familiar setting. It's meant to make you feel like episode 4. It does a pretty good job of doing that. This is when he's walking by and he sees the stormtroopers' heads on stakes, that shot we saw in the trailer. So he walks in the cantina, asks this droid if there's any bounties or anything. He says, oh, the guild's not allowed on Coruscant, sir. Or the Bounty Hunters Guild isn't allowed on Tatooine, sir. I don't know where I got Coruscant. Must still be tired. Hold on. Glug, glug, glug. So he's like, oh, well, I don't need guild work. I'm a hunter. I don't need to take any work. And someone in the corner's like, hey, I think I can help you out. And some dude who's sitting there with his feet up on the table, feet up on the table with, really relaxed. He has a fob for Fennec Shand. So if you don't know who Fennec Shand is, or not a fob, a puck with the fob included for Fennec Shand. Fennec Shand we heard a lot about because it's played by Ming-Na Wen. I think that's her name. I want to make sure I get her name right. Ming-Na Wen. She is she's the one who's in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. She was introduced in a specific TV spot. People are pretty excited for her character. She's an assassin. He says, hey, I just need this. You can keep all the money. I just need this bounty so I can get into the guild. This guy introduces himself as Toro Calican. So he's asking for Mandalorian's help. Mandalorian says, you evidently know who Fennec Shand is. She's an assassin. She's worked for like all these good people. You're in way over your head. And he says, you can keep the money. I just want the glory. Let's do this. He agrees, says, all right, maybe at the hangar. And as you're away from the hangar, what is her name? Peli, the repair lady, and her droids are playing like a game of Sabacc or something, messing around, and they hear Baby Yoda cry. Because Baby Yoda is, of course, part of this. Mandalorian had put Baby Yoda to sleep before he left. Yeah, he left Baby Yoda on the ship. Left him on the ship, even though he knows that people have fobs all over the galaxy. But left him on the ship. They hear him cry. She goes and picks him up, and it's this whole, like, mother thing. She's cooing him, oh, you're so cute, aren't you? And it's like so much time is involved in it. Mothering Baby Yoda. And she's like, I'm just going to charge even more when the Mandalorian gets back. I'm just taking care of you. And so Mando gets back to the hangar. He goes in, realizes Baby Yoda's gone, freaks out. And the woman's like, oh, well, I got him. And they basically come to an arrangement that she will continue to kind of look after him while Mandalorian does what he needs to do. He'll give her more credits, all of that good stuff. So he meets Toro, and they have speeder bikes, and they're talking about speeder bikes. Oh, there's one time I forgot to talk about this earlier. Peli insults the Mandalorian by calling him a womp rat, and I feel like this is like the third time that we've heard womp rats referenced in 5 episodes. Yeah, we know womp rats. We've heard that in Star Wars before. Thanks for reminding us. He has the speeder bikes. They're about to go out in the desert. He makes a reference to, Mandalorian's like, oh, these speeder bikes are okay. And Toro's like, well, I mean, they're not Corellian, but again, because one time we heard Han Solo say that, the big Corellian ships, mind you. So now, we have to reference the shipyards on Corellia, and we have to talk about Corellian built things being the best. So again, that's what Star Wars means evidently now. So they go out to search for Fennec. They have a random interaction with Tusken Raiders out there, and it's established that the Mandalorian is able to communicate with Tusken Raiders, and he negotiates a way for them to pass through. They do it as like a funny scene, a funny scare scene. These Tusken Raiders are right behind Toro, Mandalorian's very comfortable with them, so that makes you think a little bit about his history. Why is he so comfortable with these Tusken Raiders? I don't know much about. I don't know near as much about Tusken Raiders in this current canon as I did in the expanded universe. I know quite a bit about them in there. There's actually a great book called Kenobi where he deals a lot with Tusken Raiders, and I thought that they were going to use that and adapt it for the Kenobi series. We'll see on that, but he's able to communicate with them and get their passage. They go through. They find a dewback in the middle of the desert. They go and approach it. They find a rider's there, but it's actually a bounty hunter. He has a fob, so it's not Fennec Shand, and they get ambushed and shot by Fennec Shand. The Mandalorian's Beskar protects him, luckily, and so they have to wait again for an avenue of approach. They decide they're going to go their speeder bikes as fast as they can towards Fennec Shand when it gets dark, and they're going to use these little flash signals to interrupt her view because she's using a scope, so she won't be able to track them as well. So they make a beeline for her. They're alternating using their flash signals so that she can't get the scope on her. Cool little sequence. Mando's speeder gets shot. Toro gets all the way up there, has an interaction, gets his ass beat by Fennec Shand. But luckily the Mandalorian, that was part of the plan all the time, just distract her long enough. He sneaks up behind her, and they have her dead to rights. But now they need transportation to get back, right? Because that speeder was shot. One speeder's not going to carry all three of them. So the Mandalorian goes to find the dupe. Well, they have a conversation. And let's see if I can find where... I haven't been looking... I took all these notes and I haven't been looking at them. I've just been talking, which I guess is good. Oh yes, there was another line in there when he said we had to wait till they wanted to wait till the night, and the Mandalorian says, "Oh, she's got the high ground," something like that. Yes, I get it. Star Wars, a Star Wars line that every person who's ever seen Star Wars before is gonna get. Okay, thank you. God. All right, so I think this is where I started falling asleep. Evidently, my notes get really messy. But she is inquiring to the bounty hunter. She hasn't seen a Mandalorian in a long time. She asks him if he's ever been to Navarro. And Navarro, it's evidently the name of that planet that they started on. Because what you find out when the Mandalorian goes off to go try to find that dewback that they had left in the middle of the desert, she is talking to Toro and saying, "Hey, I think I know who this guy is. There was a Mandalorian on Navarro who broke the guild code that took this really valuable bounty away. That's got to be him." Basically convincing him that they should join forces and that they should take him in and turn in him for a bounty because he's really wanted right now, obviously. And Toro's listening, and you get a kind of a shock. Right, you think he's going to let her out of her cuffs, but he shoots her like cold blood. And he seemed very inept all the way up until this point, and this one he seems very like cold-blooded and calculated. Shoots her, kills her, leaves her dead, takes speeder, leaves. Mando comes back on the dewback, and he's like, "What the hell?" Sees Fennec Shand's body, goes back to the hangar, no idea what happened. Goes back to the hangar, and Toro beat him there, obviously on a speeder, not a dewback. And he has Baby Yoda, and he has Peli, at gunpoint. And the whole typical, bad guy monologue, right? Proceeds from there. And, wants him to get handcuffed, is talking about what a big thing it's going to be. This must have been that big valuable bounty that you decided. I'm going to bet he's worth a lot of money. And he, holds his hands up here and uses the flash thing that we saw from earlier to distract Toro, and goes to the side, shoots Toro, shoots him dead. And, Baby Yoda is just sitting there through the whole thing. Baby Yoda's just sitting there. Even though the Mandalorian's life seemed to be in a lot of danger at the time, didn't use the Force or anything. I found that strange. found that strange because we saw him do it before, but just decided to sit there and watch it happen. Maybe he just knew his inherited, OP force powers just told him that the Mandalorian would actually be fine. He didn't need to do anything. He didn't need to use the force, so he didn't that time. But luckily, Baby Yoda's okay. It has a little cute moment with Pelly, of course, and Mandalorian gives her a bunch of money, and he goes on his way. They load up the ship, and they take off. And then you get one last image before this episode ends of Fennec Shan's body laying there in the desert with someone in armor, it seemed, and a cape, dressed similar to the Mandalorian, walking up to her body, and is about to crouch down, but you miss it. So someone is likely, and then it goes black, right? Someone is tracking the Mandalorian, maybe? I don't know. Obviously, a lot of people are trying to find him. A bunch of people have fobs, so I don't know if this one's tracking them differently. I don't know why they were all the way out there with Fennec Shan, but that's how it ends. Like I said, felt like another filler episode. Things I learned about the Mandalorian and about Baby Yoda this episode. I learned that the Mandalorian is familiar with Tuskens, with Sand People. It was reiterated that he doesn't like droids. We already knew that. I can't think of anything else. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I was so tired. Maybe I fell asleep. I don't know. I think that's all I learned. And then we had a bunch of really weird, supposed to be funny or cute or endearing things, dialogue with this Pelly character, who I think is only going to be in this one episode. I thought we were going to have a cool character in Fennec Shan who has one little fight scene and then immediately dies. I don't know what this show's about. I thought it was going to be about a Mandalorian. I thought in the dark, grimy underworld doing like this one at least had him tracking a bounty. Like, that's true. At least I can say that. We saw him track a bounty. He basically just followed someone else out to where they said it was, a little combat area. I dug the opening little starfighter sequence, or the space battle sequence. The CGI was rough on it, but it was something different, a good way to start. I can say that about this episode. The baby Yoda cuteness thing's just so played out for me. If I had known, I didn't think that that's what this show was going to be about. Maybe that's on me. Maybe that's my expectations. But I thought that this show was going to be about a badass Mandalorian, a dark hero, someone that was getting through the dark underworlds, recovering their past kind of thing is what I felt like. It has become filler episodes. It feels like a cartoon. It feels like Big Daddy in space, like a reluctant father in space, and I'm just not digging it anymore. Episode 1 intrigued me. Episode 2 I didn't like. Thought it was filler, and the Baby Yoda thing drove me nuts. Episode 3, I really liked it. That's what I wanted. Episode 4, CW cringe fest. This episode, I think I'm kind of just out now. I need them to turn around. I thought we were going to I heard a rumor. Somebody told me that episode 5 was going to involve heavy spoilers, or going to be heavily involved in Baby Yoda's past, which I didn't necessarily want to find out, but at least that was going to be something. We found nothing about him. Effectively nothing about the Mandalorian. Another filler episode. We only have 3 episodes left. Are they all going to be 30 minutes? I don't know. But I guess this is the time I'm starting to get frustrated with this show. I don't know. I guess maybe it's just not for me. Maybe it's not made for me. I thought it was going to be a slightly more adult thing. Not that it has to be rated R or anything like that. But now it just feels like it's not for me. So it's unfortunate. but that is what it is. I don't know. I'm kind of down about it a little bit. Mandalorian was something that I was, if you look at some of my videos, I was kind of excited for it leading up to this, but now kind of over it. But let me know what you guys think. I want to know your thoughts on this episode. Am I totally off? Am I totally off base here? Was this like a great killer episode? Let me know. I'm sure you guys will let me know if you think I'm wrong, which is great. Am I right? Was this a filler episode? Was this a downgrade for you guys? Coming off episode 4, this didn't do much to rebound for me, but maybe I'm completely off. Maybe I'm just really tired. Let me know in the comments below. But either way, make sure you subscribe, smash the like button, ring the bell for notifications, share this video around, hashtag it The Mandalorian, because I'm sure that's going to be trending when everybody wakes up this morning. And I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching, everyone, and a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.